DC here. Hi guys. Well, have you ever noticed when you start out on the adventure of life, it's closer to a roller coaster than a straight ride? I guess all of you have noticed that, but it's just the way it is, isn't it? A lot of us have been going through ups and downs in this roller coaster lately, and as you know, when you go on a roller coaster, I've never been much of a roller coaster person, but you know that there's all these highs. You can be dreading something, and then you can all of a sudden realize that, hey, this can actually be fun. Or when you're going down and the wind is in your face, or actually the G-force is almost pulling it away. Something that you thought would be fun could actually almost be close to painful sometimes. I guess that's just the way it is with life. Why am I bringing this up? Well, I can see that myself and, like I said, a lot of others are going through this roller coaster, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. You know, yesterday I was at a conference. When you're going through, I would say, career change times as myself and others, you can't keep out of touch with what's going on. And you have to meet people, you have to network, and so on. So I was at a conference yesterday, something actually quite interesting, but really quite complicated in a way. It was like nanotechnologies in bioengineering and so on. So there was a bit of all type of fields in there, talking about that. But the whole idea was I was looking around and everybody was sitting in there with their iPads. And I realized now, like, how things have changed since I was a younger scientist at a conference, sitting and writing notes and everything. Everybody had their iPads, their computers, and since there was wireless there, well, as the person was talking, you could see when they weren't really interested, well, they just like turned off and started going to other things. But I saw there was an Asian lady sitting next to me. She was going into the scientific literature, pulling out, I would say, things for literature, so articles, to ask questions to the person. So she was like beefing up her questions. And I thought, like, boy, the world has changed since technology and so on. So what does that have to do with ups and downs? Well, I guess it just shows, how much the world changes, and that if you don't stay with it, all of a sudden you're going into a tunnel. And that can be a pretty scary experience at times. But as the saying goes, usually there's light at the end of the tunnel. Well, we hope there is. And I think that's the whole idea, is that if you keep in your mind that there is light at the end of the tunnel, it's another way of going on about the half full glass. If you do keep in your mind that there is light at the end of a tunnel, then going through a tunnel can be actually an interesting experience. I've realized it myself in what I'm experiencing these days, where you think something's going to work. You're told it's going to work. And then at the last moment something happens and it doesn't. So how are you supposed to react? You can go into depression. You can be disappointed, which is actually normal, I think. You can't be... You're human. You can be disappointed, but then you can try and look around and say, well, why? Is there a reason? Very often there doesn't seem to be a reason. And if there doesn't seem to be a reason, then maybe there isn't. So it doesn't have to be always your fault. It can be other circumstances which you don't control. Okay, before there's any questions, Pilo Chun green tea. Now, keep on that is that, what do you do to keep looking for that light at the end of the tunnel? Now, that's a question I've often actually asked myself, and I think it goes on to your, could I say, sense of self-worth. It's pretty difficult to keep at times, but one has to realize, and I think any one of you, myself included, that's out there right now, looking for something new, has to realize that we have self-worth. We have capacities, and we do. Each person has somebody around them. It can be your spouse, it can be a friend, it can be your God. Somebody is there which is with you. People aren't going to do the work for you. People aren't going to go out there making interviews for you or getting talks ready. No. That part, it's your job. Yeah. But the idea to know, the fact, that intrinsic self-worth, that's very important. Because that creates the whole basis of this waiting game. Now, other things will come. Of course, when the financial crunch comes of being unemployed or, getting less money or whatever. Now, those are things that really get to you. Those are the things that will start hurting, and that's where a good foundation on your self-worth, of your network, of friends, of loved ones is important. Now, having said all that, does it make it any easier at times? No, because that's the whole idea, I guess, is that when you're in a roller coaster, when you're driving along, and sometimes even feeling like you're driving blind, yeah, there are scary moments. And scary moments are just that, scary. Well, I'm starting to turn around now because I guess I've made my point. You don't know the future. You won't. Don't try. What you do know, you've got self-worth. I know that about myself. I try to remember it. It's not always easy. It's always easy to talk about it. But you have to really say one thing is that, no, it's not always an easy ride. Well, what is nice, though, is when you have the time to, think of something else. Like this summer, we had the visit with Irene and Dave, and then after with my son and a friend, we went down to the Swiss-Italian part, which I'll put up some vids. We went through the mountains, went a bit of hiking, visited some really nice churches, and it was really fantastic. Actually, I put some of those pictures up on Facebook, if ever you go to my Facebook page. And what else? Well, the weekend's coming up. It's going to be Son of DC's birthday, so I'll be making a meal for him, something with veal shanks, and so an Italian meal, osso buco, and probably a saffron risotto to go along with it. Anything else? Well, I'll try and see if I can fit another few vids in this weekend. It's going to be very tight, and I have a big week next week, work-wise. Things coming up. But I'm getting at the end of this vid. Yes, I see the time. I do see the time. I'm getting at the end of this vid, and don't forget, if you don't know it, there's a guy called Theblueflamingo. He has a birthday coming up. Go check him out. One of the best. And there are a few other people coming up for their birthdays, but they're not actually YouTubers, but they're related to YouTubers. 9 minutes. DC is going to be signing off, guys. That's all. Take care. Love y'all.